Kieran, let's quickly touch on Ireland's dismal 1-0 loss to Luxembourg on Saturday. There's not much more left, really, to be said about it, but I just wanted to get your own thoughts 3 days on from the game.
You really are a merchant of misery, Jack, to start off this podcast talking about that game. It was absolutely dismal. It was atrocious to sit down and watch it. Coming off the back of the Serbia performance a couple of days earlier, like I know Ireland lost that game 3-2, but there were some shoots that you could hang a bit of hope off in that game. Ireland put some decent passages together again, but they were just lacking in class. And last Saturday night against Luxembourg, it's a very telling stat when the only Champions League player on the pitch was a player from Luxembourg and he ended up getting the goal. Like, that shows how far Ireland have fallen in recent years. And that's no secret either. I suppose that mismanagement off the pitch is now manifesting itself on the pitch. But still, whether it's a sense of entitlement or whatever, you'd still think, Ireland are good enough to beat Luxembourg, but obviously we're not. Like, you'd hate to think what'll happen when we travel over to Luxembourg in a couple of months. Like, they'll be hoping to do the double over us. It was just a very, very poor display, and there was very little positives from it. Bazuna in goal was decent, in fairness to him. He was a young fella, 18, 19 in goal. Yeah. He kind of handled himself pretty well, but out the field there was nothing. And I know there are injuries, like Conor Horan wasn't involved, and you have a lot more players weren't involved, but still you would think on paper that Ireland could beat a team like Luxembourg, but it shows where we are right now. So it looks like I don't have to put in for my holidays in Qatar in 2023 or apply for a press pass, because I'll be going nowhere that summer or winter.
Just to pick up on the point you made there about how the mismanagement of Irish football has affected things on the field now. And I suppose excuse is probably the wrong word, but that's a line that's been trotted out to defend the Stephen Kenny era, because a lot of fans and the likes of myself and yourself were both trumpeting the benefits of having Stephen Kenny take the job. But now that it's not going great, he's been defended with the line, it's actually down to the mismanagement of Irish football over the last 10, 20, 30 years even. But is it fair to say that the likes of Martin O'Neill when he was in charge, Giovanni Trapattoni when he was in charge, and more recently Mick McCarthy, that when things started going sideways for each of those coaches, the blame was put firmly on Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane, on Mick McCarthy and on Trapattoni and their style of play? They were never really given the outlet of, look, Irish football is a bit of a basket case, so, it can't really blame the manager. And now it's a sense that, as Kenny was such a popular choice and now it's going wrong, people like myself included, I include myself in this, are looking for any way possible to defend him, because you don't want to admit that maybe we were wrong all along. And the fact of the matter is, Mick McCarthy and Martin O'Neill and Giovanni Trapattoni's pragmatism was in fact the only way. Is there anything in that?
I think what's always working to Kenny's advantage, if you could say that, is that champagne football has come out during he's reign in charge. So we've all got the chance to look behind the curtains and see what exactly was going on in the FAI, and you're kind of reading that book with your jaw kind of hitting the ground. So we know what was going on behind the scenes. And so I suppose it's pretty easy then just to say, okay, it's not Kenny's fault. It's what's happened behind the scenes. But there is, like I said, that mismanagement of Irish football. Like, if you look at the debt Irish football is in, all the headlines on the front pages for all the wrong reasons over the last couple of years, and that is manifesting itself on the pitch in terms of the players we have right now are not good enough to qualify for European Championships or a World Cup. And you have to look inward at the FAI for that. Why haven't we the players coming through? Are the structures in place? If not, why not? What can be done to better that? But just on Stephen Kenny for a second, I think we all saw him coming in as our great white hope on the back of a white stallion, and he was going to wave his magic wand and we'd be playing tippy-tappy football and putting together these superb triangles, and Xavi and Iniesta would be looking at Ireland saying, Jesus, those boys can play football. But sadly, that's not the case. Stephen Kenny, he's under pressure now. And you've got, 10, 11 games in, he's still looking for his first win. Before the goals against Serbia there, we've gone, was it 670 minutes or something like that without an international goal?
And those goals were celebrated as though we'd almost won the game, in a 3-2 losing effort. We were like, we've turned the corner. And I was as optimistic as anyone.
I think we all revelled in that moral victory where Ireland got a couple of goals, even though that second goal, was as scrappy as they come, and we were beaten by a couple of top-class goals by Serbia. So Kinney is under pressure. Like, they're playing Qatar now next. If that doesn't go well, I don't think he loses his job, but he needs to turn things around quite quickly. I presume he'll be. They've given him their vote of confidence. They'll back him for this campaign in a way, because
because they can't possibly sack him because he's on a contract worth several €100,000, and the FAI aren't really in a position to cut a contract short.
When you say it like that, yeah, it is.
Not that I just want to put on the record as well that I would be in your camp of giving Kenny as much time. Well, definitely this campaign, and letting him at least finish the job he was signed up for.
I think so, yeah. I think he needs, like any manager, he needs a full strength squad, or as close to a full strength squad as possible, to get his best players on the pitch and then put his plans in action. Even for the next game, a couple of players have pulled out, so he's been dogged by injuries since he's come on board. Then there was COVID stuff as well. So hopefully we've hit rock bottom. The fear is that we haven't, that it could get even worse. So once we don't finish bottom of the group, I think that could be progress, seeing what we've seen in the last couple of games.
Yeah, and you mentioned that we have already hit rock bottom, losing to Luxembourg in a qualifier. I suppose maybe 10 or 15 years ago would have been seen as a much worse result. But I look at this Qatar game, now we're recording this on the Tuesday before the Qatar game, and from what I've been reading and hearing, like, Qatar are no mugs either. And I know it's only a friendly, but it would really add insult to injury if we were to finish this 3-game run by losing to the Gulf nation of Qatar, which, not known globally as a footballing powerhouse. I know they're going to host the next World Cup, but I wouldn't be claiming that the Luxembourg game was rock bottom just yet. We'll see how this friendly with Qatar goes on Tuesday evening. Hopefully there'll be some positives to take out, but maybe we'll score a worldly of a goal and we can all say, oh yeah, well look, you can see the possession football is starting to come to fruition, because we had 7 passes before James Collins headed that one past the Qatari goalkeeper. But anyway, watch this space.